Welcome back to Water Park Splashin. It's me, Tom Derrick, and in today's video I'm going to both rank and review your favourite rides at Siam Park. So starting off with number 10 spot, you guys have picked Jungle Snakes, and before we even get onto the free sides, you know that this is going to be one hysterical adventure. Okay, that was awful, but as soon as you made your decision on whether you were heading on Viper, which basically takes you inside and out, twisting and turning through the jungle. Boa, which is definitely the darkest of sides, sending you pretty much in complete and utter darkness all the way down to the final splashdown. Or Python, that definitely prioritises the speed over the length, with you racing through what both of these have, just at a very fast speed. You will be able to board a 1 or 2 person dinghy and have, you guessed it, a hysterical time. Saying that though, if you're in a group of 3 or 5 or 7 or just that odd number where normally someone does get left out, well then do not fear, as our next attraction, Patong Rapids, basically takes the fun of those sides, just puts it on a larger scale. Because not only will you get to twist and turn around all the amazing scenery, through tunnels, drop down drops, as well as have that amazing final splashdown, but you'll be able to do it in a 4-person rapid boat. Yes, there will not be 1 person on this adventure, not 2, but up to 4, creating such a fun experience, especially when the person opposite you gets that water over their heads. As we make our way through the video, you'll realise that some of these sides comes in pairs, and the reason for that is because they get some very long queues, and by having very similar ones, it means that you don't have to do all of them or wait an hour to go on one. And point being, Patong Rapids pair is Mekong Rapids, so you'll basically be heading through the same sort of thing, but I would definitely choose this one right here, as according to this video, that yes, is 8 years old, so it's probably changed by now. It is the world's longest rafting side. And just look at that bump at the end, you'll be flying out of your seat before that splashdown. So yeah, unless it has a giant queue, do this one first, and then come back to the other one at the end if you get a chance. If you know me, you know that I love bowl sides, or as I like to call them, the toilet bowl sides, as these are just incredible. And similar to the last ones, this one also comes in a pair, so you won't have to wait too long, but it is worth every single minute. With for anyone who has not done one of these before, once you board a 1 or 2 person dinghy, and a little tip from me, board a 1 person dinghy, as it will enable you to spin and even go down the drop backwards sometimes. You will race through the tube, building up some crazy speeds before then blasting out into the toilet bowl, where you'll spin around and around and around before then going into the drop at the end. Yes, that's the one you go down backwards in, plunging you back out into the water. I think by simply hearing the name Vulcano, you know that our first side is not for the faint of hearts. However, trust me when I say that no one knows what this ride beholds, because once you board a dinghy, this time though, instead of sitting in a circular raft, you kind of have your own little spot, which I do prefer personally. You will go through a pitch black tube, kind of twisting and turning, dropping, doing all that jazz, before coming out in the misty heart of a volcano where you will party? Yeah, this is one of the weirdest parts of any side I think I've ever seen. In the middle of a volcano, you will have disco lights, music? I don't really know, you can hear a voice anyway. And what's that partying along to it? That is the Water Park Splashin Rubber Ducky. And throughout the remainder of the video, he'll be making some appearances in some very weird places. So make sure to comment down below how often you see him and where you see him, and we'll pin the first correct comment. Anyway, there is no doubt that this is a very crazy side, but also one that will erupt your visit. And even though it did not work, it is definitely one that you should ride. Now I know I keep saying that you should ride the unique attractions because unique attractions are great, you can't do them elsewhere, etc, etc, etc. But there is one side that I would always make an exception for, and that is the racer side. This is Naga Racer, and like most racer sides, for starters, you can go down on your front. Yes, no lifeguard will tell you off this time for going down on your front, with the entire ride itself being sent down on your front on a mat, do not worry, when you then go over a few bumps all the way down to the bottom. But what takes this from a do it if you get a chance kind of side to a trip to Siam Park will be nowhere near complete without, is that you'll be able to race 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Yeah, 5 other frenemies to the bottom. The question is though, will you become the Naga Racer champion? Well, the only way to find out is to take on this adventure. When I visited Siam Park for the first time, I was a lot younger. So much younger that I couldn't even do Tower of Power. And even though I was so disappointed for that, there was one side that made up for that. And that is the dragon. Wait, let me see if I've got something. Well, I did not find what I was looking for, but I found this anyway. Look at this. I've got some old Siam Park merch, and it is kind of a dragon, so pretty cool. And there's the band that I used to get given. Don't know if I do that anymore. But yeah, Siam Park. Pretty cool. Not to drag on and on about the merch show and back to the side, the dragon is what you like to call short but sweet. With this side lasting no longer than around 30 seconds, but trust me, when you make your way to the end, you'll realise that it is more than enough. As once you make your way through the tunnel, instead of dropping out into a toilet bowl or into an open area, on this one right here, you will be dropping into a giant funnel section with that dragon staring into you, which you'll then rock up and down, all the way down to the bottom. Here we now make it into the top 3 territory, and one thing you'll work out is when a ride like the dragon is at number 4, the number 3, 2 and 1 are going to be very, very awesome. And that is definitely right, as Kinnaree, our next ride, may start off by seeming like your normal family raft side, twisting and turning through the tubes, coming out into the open air, but then quickly, yeah, this is where it is. Before you know it, you'll be dropping down and up into a wall, and here comes the laws of physics. Whatever goes up has to come down, which will then cause you to twist, then drop back down into the next part of the side. That is then another tube and open area, all before the giant drop at the end. So yeah, I think this has taken away the name family raft size, but what it sure hasn't is my tip earlier, where I said to leave the other family raft size before doing the others, because if you did those two, then you did this one, you've basically just done 3 family raft size and may miss out ones like our next ride, Tower of Power. And this is the one that I keep looking at and going, oh, I wish I did it, because I was too small, I couldn't have done it, I queued up for it, I got to the top of the stairs, and they went, no, sorry, you're too tall. Too small. The only thing that is too tall though is this ride, because if you do manage to get on like me, you will basically plunge 28 metres. Yes, that is very tall. To the bottom, where then you'll go through a tube, and I remember there's animals in there. I don't know if it was sharks or stingrays, but no matter what, it's still crazy. Before then shooting out of the tunnel at the end, where you go, wow, that truly is the Tower of Power. Throughout this video, we have had some crazy adventures, from the Tower of Power to racing your friends down some slides to seeing a dragon as you walk back and forth. It has been awesome. But you could have 1,000 more of those slides, and I would still pick Singha, I think it's called Singha anyway, to be at our number 1 spot. As what makes this coaster so awesome is that in addition to going down the side, experiencing those twists and turns, those drops, and sharing all those reactions with the other people on your raft, at some points you'll be sent uphill. Yes, like a roller coaster, you'll be going uphill at times, making this ride even more awesome, longer, and one that is definitely worth a ride. Thank you all for watching, bye bye.